So there's the apron, and there is my pocket. Stitch length is on 3, the differential feed is on 1, the knife is set to its different factory settings at 5, and on this machine it's all set to 4 on the tension. So I'll grab a piece of scrap left over. I'm going to work, actually we're working on a single layer through this project, so I'm going to use just a single layer to test the stitches on. And got threads caught in there. There we go. Just got some of the fraying threads caught off there. So the stitches look a little bit pulled, so I need to just adjust the knife. Do it at 6 and let's see what happens there. And the fabric's sitting absolutely perfectly there, and I'm really happy with that. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to place some bias tape on top of the pocket. I'm going to snip excess away. And because we're using a serger, remember, we want to keep the pins well out of the way. I'll pop it in just before the fabric starts there, and let's go all the way across. That's done. So press here. So I'm keeping that seam upwards, like that. A nice press. Flip that over. And now you can just sew that down on the sewing machine, or if you want to, you can hand stitch that. So it's the seam between the bias binding and the main fabric, and where it joins. They call that the ditch. So if you've ever heard the term stitch in the ditch, that's what this is called. So can you see where the needle sits? Right there between the bias and now you can get a special foot for this, but I'm not using that special foot. I'm just going to do it freehand. Okay, so that's called stitching in the ditch, and you've sewn it down, but you've kept it underneath. Okay, so once that's done, let's go back to the overlocker, and what I'll do here is I'm going to serge all the way round the edge of the pocket. Get rid of that. Here's the pocket. That's going to sit there. Now it's already blended in. If you're really good at this, you could have pattern matched it and it would have been fantastic, but I haven't. So the way to position this in the center is I'm going to fold that in half and just give that a crease. All right. And I'm going to fold this in half and I'm going to give this a crease. And then I'm going to mark it where I want it to sit. So I said I was going to position it about 1 inch or so below. I might have even said a couple of inches. Who knows? Who knows what I said? But I think I'm going to place it there. So I've given it my best shot. So line that crease with the crease that I've made there. So there's the bottom of the crease. So hopefully you can see that, but you've got the idea. So the crease on there matches with the crease on the apron, and the crease I've created to go along where the pocket wants to sit, I've placed there. So then put lots of pins in there so it doesn't shift, but put them far away from the edges, because I don't want to be faffing around moving pins out of the way when I'm sewing this. We want to make this easy. The easier the better. And now, when I come to stitch this, all I need to do is fold over this overlocked edge like that and stitch it down. Now, if you feel more confident doing this, pressing it first, then do that. If you're happy just going free or winging it like I tend to do, then go with that. There we go. Can you see how that now is nicely smoothed down? Here's my block of wood, and keep going. So isn't that great? So having an overlocker really does make things easy. So I'll take it to the machine. That's not moving. It's nicely. So move it when it's cooled down. Don't move it before. There we go. And the needle is just going to pierce just before that fabric starts, like that. There we go. And I'm going to slow down a little bit so you can see. And so I'm keeping that fabric on the edge of the oval there. And I'm turning my fabric as I get to it. Now, if you struggle to control your machine that slowly, then do this. Stop, lift the presser foot, pop it down. Let's do it this way. And then stitch a couple of stitches. Stop, lift the presser foot, turn, and then back down. So I'm able to go slowly like this. I've got a nice long stitch. Now, does a long stitch worry you about the strength? If it does, then if you have the triple stitch ability, then use a triple stitch on your machine. If you don't have this triple stitch, just go over the stitches again. And then when you get to the end, go over by one stitch like that, and then reverse back. And there you go. And that's your pocket sewn. Okay, so there we go. That's it, top stitched. And think I'm quite pleased with that. Let's have a look. It sits fairly rounded. So that's the advantage of having an overlocker when you're sewing. You can just overlock around curves like that and then top stitch it down and it will sit beautifully. So I've cut 3 strips of webbing tape out and I'm going to sew them on. If you want to make the straps to match the same fabric, only because I think I'd rather have white. I think too much blue for this will be too much for me. But you've got to decide what you prefer. I'm going to pin it into place there. So it sits like that. And I'm just going to sew a rectangle around there. You can do it in zigzag if you want to, so it doesn't fray. And if I place that back there, so I'll make sure I've cut all 3 strips at 24. At the very start, do you remember I measured how far I want this to sit? At the bib to sit on me, and I measured it to be at the strap to be 24, or the tape measure measured at 24. I decided I might as well make the straps that tie myself to the apron at 24. I'll do the same here as well. Just going to place it so it sits nice and straight along there. And we'll just sew a rectangle on there. I might actually just leave it so it stays on the overlocking section there. Let's go on the top side. So again, get the needle in and then stitch on the top stitching there. Once you've got your needle in, take the pin out. Make sure you're holding that securely. And then follow the path of the top stitch that was there. There we go. But we're going to go I just want a few stitches down. I can feel the strap underneath. There we go. And back round. I think I can fit one more in there. And that's it. Okay, and that's the strap sewn in. Because I've used a triple stitch and I've done a square, that's not going anywhere. And up. And that's it. That's the apron done. And let's go. You can do a triple stitch here if you want to. And there we go, done.